people descend upon the city that never sleeps. But today, it is the U.S. Open of Supercross, where the best Supercross riders in the world will contest the richest single event purse the sport has to offer. Hi there, everyone. Pat Parnell along with Robbie Floyd. We'll be checking in with Ken and Harkin as we get ready for our first heat of 2 here on the second of a 2-day event for the 250 Pro class inside the MGM Grand Garden Arena. And as I mentioned, 2 heats right now with the first. The top 5 riders will take the fast track into the finals. The others, forced with the LCQ, the last chance qualifier, the highest combined 2-night score will be crowned U.S. champion.
And I can guarantee you on each and every one of these riders' mind, that $100,000, cha-ching sound is about to be playing off with one lucky rider.
And look at that, Kyle Lewis gets the whole shot out of turn 1, just behind him, Ernesto Fonseca.
Oh,
and Wyndham.
Kevin Wyndham with a Honda helmet cam goes down. No surprise, Lewis with a start, but Wyndham going down. Very seldom do you see that on the start.
In the 5th and final transfer spot, Hoffmaster behind him, Roderick Tane.
And a little bit of a clutch adjustment, so he's going to have to dial in the bike before he gets going again. But it is Kyle Lewis, Ernesto Fonseca, number 10, the factory Honda rider in second, going to the inside. I expected him to make the pass. I'm just wondering how long, but Fonseca should be the quickest guy up front right now, but don't count out the privateer. Ooh, getting a little crazy right there is Kyle Lewis.
What about Wyndham from, in 9th place? A lot of places to have, work his way up the order. This track does not allow for any of that.
It's not conducive because it is so tight. I mean, you get bunched up, but I mean, he's going to have to fight his way through. Here at the U.S. Open, it is tight. You expect it, but when he had to do all that clutch adjustment, things like that, he was making sure everything was dialed in. So don't count him out. This is a long race.
Hoffmaster still on that bubble in that top 5 qualifying spot. And back in 9th place, Wyndham trying to work his way through this crowd as he's watched up front going through the whoops.
Oh, 12-lap heat race. There he is, getting past again. Kyle Lewis really not dialed in right now. Jeff Gibson, started his professional career in arena cross, made the jump to supercross, hasn't left. He's a very fast rider. But I don't know, Kyle Lewis has been doing this a long time. The Subway Coca-Cola Honda rider moves into second.
And Pavoni now into 5th place. Tane in 6th. Hoffmaster jumping up to 4th. So Pavoni now in that transfer spot, and he wants to make his way into the main event.
And that's the bubble. That's where you have to come inside if you're going to make it to that final burying point. We're watching that race for 3rd. Kyle Lewis, you notice he was passed, but he's not backing down. There's Tommy Hoffmaster. I can promise you he won't back down. Here comes Pavoni the inside. But you see the different riding style. Hoffmaster so much faster in the whoops.
Well, remember, Robbie, Hoffmaster did not make the main event last night, so a little extra hunger right there as we look up to front of the pack, and Fonseca, Gibson, followed by Lewis, and jumping on board, Kevin Wyndham still out the back, trying to work his way through this pack. A lot of work to be done for him.
Hello, here comes the Amsoil Chaparral Honda of Kevin Wyndham. Now that he has caught up to the pack, seriously, you should expect him to pass at least 1 rider a lap. It sounds crazy. I know you NASCAR fans out there, but 1 rider a lap, that'd be amazing. He's that fast.
And Kevin Wyndham, just following this race, will be going in for hernia surgery, so dealing with an injury there.
Hey, but he's dealt with it all year long. You see that?
Yeah, Wyndham.
1 a lap, I'm telling you. He's that much faster than the rest of the field, except maybe minus Fonseca, who finished just behind him in the motocross nationals. But look at the different lines. Going outside, stepping on, stepping off. And you notice the 2 riders in front of him took the inside line. Roderick Tane having some difficulties trying to get by Tommy Hoffmaster.
So Wyndham now on the bubble of the top 5 qualifying spots in 6th place.
He's on the outside looking in.
Yeah, you can see that as he's coming towards the outside section. Wrapping back around.
Look at that.
Are you just amazed by Wyndham, what he's been able to do on such a tight track? You talk about this track in Vegas in the MGM Grand Garden Arena, a very tight track, and look at Wyndham through the whoops.
Taking different line, the little in and out section outside the MGM Grand Garden and back in. Now this whoop section, I expect it. He just want to hang his rear end over, but that was a totally different line than the rest of the field was taking.
Unbelievable riding we're seeing from Wyndham, and as he takes the outside line,
steps up.
Yep,
Tommy's going to be a little harder to pass. Tommy's used to arena cross, never won the arena cross championship. He's finished 2nd. Well, I say it's going to be harder to pass. Hello, there goes Kevin Wyndham. It takes over another position.
Tell you what, Wyndham adjusting beautifully on this 4-stroke. It's interesting, we're seeing that shift. A lot of these guys on the 4-stroke, there's a lot of discussion. Can the 4-strokes do well on this tight course? And obviously working for Wyndham as he works his way through the pack. Fonseca still out front.
Well, the thing is, the 4-stroke indoors. There's a difference between outdoors. A lot of horsepower, but this bike's a little bit heavier. Oh, man, Kyle Lewis, we saw him squirrely earlier. Much more so now. And picking up 1 lap. I told you, 1 lap.
Wyndham now in 3rd place. As we look at the board on the top, just ahead of him, Gibson and Fonseca still with that lead, quite a bit out there.
Yeah, Gibson, you can see him in the foreground. Fonseca has checked out. Fonseca is a factory rider. He gets paid the big bucks to be out in front. Gibson, he's a privateer. I mean, he's out there, going paycheck to paycheck kind of deal. Kevin Wyndham is cream of the crop in this heat race. Unfortunately, went down to that first lap. See if he takes that line again. He does. Takes a different line. It's going to set him up coming out. And it was inevitable that he was going to get by. The question was when. The question is now, Pat, can he catch up to Fonseca? That's a big gap to make up. Huge gap. Fonseca just widening that gap up front, but I'm still amazed. Wyndham, you look back at how he's done in the U.S. Open of Supercross, got a 2nd back in 2000, a 3rd in 2001. All he's missing is a win. So he's in good position right now to make it into the main. But the question right now, Hoffmaster and Tane battling for that 5th and 6th spot. You see the gap between first and second. That's a long ways. A long ways, and you kind of said it early on. It's going to be about a pass, a lap. That's how tight this course is. It doesn't have those wide open spaces of typical motocross. And right there, you can see him coming through, just driving through the woods. And a different line, too. I mean, that's where we saw last year between Carmichael and Reed. You saw the little sections behind the scenes outside the MGM Grand Garden Arena. You can make up a little time here and there with short lap times, 45 seconds. It's tough to make up that much time. You got to do it in whoops. If you see a slow rider in whoops, or also those little alternative sections, even right there, there's an inside and outside lane. One's bound to be a little bit faster than the other. And it's great watching him in practice. You see him dial out the kinks. So it's great watching Carmichael really find the subtlety of those lines, and he dials it in. Look at this race for that final transfer. Tommy Hoffmaster, I mean, he'll ride like a bulldog. He'll ride very wide out there. You expect a lot of that in the U.S. Open of Supercross because it is so tight. Ernesto Fonseca, he's in the groove. Look at this. I love this overhead shot. You see where he takes? He's like outside here, gets a good drive around the outside. A little squirrely there, but it's all right. He could have went inside and made a little shorter distance, but he would have lost speed. Really gives the other competitors to get out the pen and paper there and just take note of the lines of Fonseca and what he's doing. And you can see him right out the back. Watch this, though. Coming into the tunnel, he takes the same line that Wyndham is. He's not watching Wyndham. He can't see. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head, but he was taking that same fast line. Remember all the guys 2nd through 5th that weren't taking them? What happened? They got passed right there. So finishing out, Wyndham in 2nd, Gibson in 3rd, but the one to watch, that battle is going to be for 5th and 6th between Rodrigue, Tane, and Hoffmaster, battling for that 5th and final transfer spot. This is going to be a battle, too, because you don't want to have to ride that LCQ. It is the last chance qualifier. Nobody wants to be in there, and that's why 5th is so important, because if you do, that's that one spot that keeps you, in the final or knocks you out of it. It was Hoffmaster the first night who, finished just outside the LCQ. You got to come to the top 2. He finished 3rd. Like I said, very hungry Hoffmaster. Very disappointed if he's going to be forced to get into that LCQ again. And how about Kyle Lewis? Gets the whole shot, then bumped down to 4th. And the fact that Wyndham was able to come back from 9th into 2nd place, 1 lap to go. Fonseca still with that commanding lead. It's not over with that battle for 5th place. Fonseca, he's won this one. A groomed track. He's dialed in. You see he's just making all the downsides, taking the wide lines. Nice and smooth that time. You saw him get a little squirrely at first. The first race of the night is usually a little bit slippery because they do water the course. They don't want it dusty throughout the night. Oh, and getting right there. Dusted right there was Rodrigue Tane taking a white flag. Watch out for Tane. He wants his bad, Pat. We predicted a battle for that 5th spot, and we're seeing just that. Hoffmaster, Tane. Last lap to go for them, and remember that 5th spot, that is what both of those riders need desperately. One more turn to go, though, for Ernesto Fonseca, the factory Honda rider. He doesn't care. Getting thrown out a little bit, but checkered flag for Ernesto Fonseca, the Costa Rican rider. Kevin Wyndham, a great 2nd place finish after making up that much ground. And Rodrigue Tane is gotten by Hoffmaster. Let's see if Tommy has anything for him. It's going to come down to the whoops in that last turn, Pat. And we have seen a lot of passes through this whoop section coming from the outside into that last turn. Watch them as they round on the dark side, coming back into the arena. This is where it's going to happen. And it ain't going to happen. No chance. Rodrigue Tane takes the 5th and final spot. I'm so surprised. Nothing against Rodrigue Tane on the Troy Lee Designs Langston Racing Honda, but Tommy Hoffmaster is used to these tight courses. That surprised me, but it's going to be Hoffmaster in the LCQ.
Well, Robbie, I think it's safe to say, as fans of Supercross, that's what we love to see, a battle on that last lap. Hoffmaster and Tane down to the wire as we look at the final results of the first heat of 2, brought to us by the U.S. Air Force. The top 5, an all-Honda affair. Tane, Lewis, Gibson, Wyndham, and Fonseca. We send it down to Ken Harkin, who's with 2 of the Honda riders.
Thanks, Pat. Ernie, you were talking earlier in the weekend that you were really having a good time. The track was working out for you. It seems that way, huh?
Yeah, it seems like it's working good. I got an okay start right behind Kyle, and, you know, my Honda is working great. Dunlop tires are awesome, and, you know, we got to wait for the main now. I hope I can do good.
Well, it was a good job out there. Now, Kevin, that was some exciting racing. We were a little nervous for it. I'm sure not as nervous as you were, but tell us what was going through your head when you saw that many people in front of you.
I had to get the qualifying position. You know, it's a tough race here. It's a really tight track, and takes some bumping and grinding. I got most of my passes done outside the arena here, but I felt great, and thank you guys for interviewing me. I felt like it was a great ride, and we're ready for the main event tonight.
Well, it certainly was a great ride. We're going to send it on back to you guys, but don't forget, we still have another heat coming right up with the 250 class.
Thanks a lot, Ken. And, you know, since the inception of this event 7 years ago, it has quickly become one of the most coveted titles in the sport. And a $100,000 purse to the winner, that's not that bad. But let's consider this. There is one man who could become the first 3-time winner, and in the process be the first ever Grand Slam winner in the sport. One rider sits on that precipice. Talking about Ricky Carmichael.
The GOAT, the greatest of all time, Ricky Carmichael, 13 AMA championships. This year alone, he has won an AMA Supercross Championship, World GP Supercross Championship, Motocross Championship, Motocross to Nations team. If he can take this U.S. Open title, Pat, as you mentioned, he could be the only guy to ever get the Grand Slam. But this is a U.S. Open. Weird things happen. We've seen underdogs win before, and just because a guy finishes 2nd or 3rd last night, if he wins today, he could take home that $100,000.
That's right. It's a second of a 2-day event. It's all about consistency. We have to sit and wait to see if RC, the GOAT, the greatest of all time, Ricky Carmichael, can he do it? He's halfway there. Number 4, Suzuki of Ricky Carmichael. He will fight to stay alive for the main event and another title when we return to the U.S. Open of Supercross.
I want to ride. I want to ride. I want to ride. I want to ride.
I know. Let's go.
The full line of fun and reliable CRFs from Honda. Everyone wants to ride. Get low 6.9% fixed APR and factory-to-dealer incentives with the Honda card. Hurry in, offers end October 31st.
If you want to make it here, spend some time out here. If you want to stand on one of these, take a seat on one of these. The all-new KX450F, the biggest, baddest motocross engine Kawasaki makes. What does it all add up to? More power, more control, more podiums. The Kawasaki KX450F. You're either on it or behind it.
Been waiting for the best deal on this year's hottest ATVs? Now's your chance. Right now at Suzuki Quad Fair, you can finance award-winning Quad Sport and Quad Runner ATVs for as low as $39 a month. Plus, on select models, we'll throw in a worn winch or worn plow for $69 or $200 in Makita tools of your choice. Quad Fair means the best value on the Ozark 250, the automatic and manual Eiger, the Vincent 500, and even the ATV of the year, the Suzuki King Quad. So get into Suzuki's Quad Fair today. An amazing deal like this won't last.
Welcome back to our New York studio. I'm Mark Morgan. Due to the length of our NASCAR coverage, we are unable to show you the second heat of the 250 class. Ricky Carmichael did advance to the main event, and we will have that for you after these messages from your local station.
Wednesday, an all-new E-Ring. An enemy with weapons of mass destruction.
Turns anthrax into aerosol.
Is only hours away from using them. And one hero must mobilize a government to stop him. Benjamin Bratt in an all-new E-Ring. Wednesday at 8/7 Central on NBC.
Why do trial lawyers love Proposition 79? Take a look at what 79 actually does. The Prop 79 Prescription Drug Initiative reopens a legal loophole Californians voted to close. A loophole that encourages unlimited lawsuits, allowing trial lawyers to sue without a client and keep all the money for themselves. The more you know, the more you see. Prop 79 may be good for trial lawyers, but it's the wrong prescription for California.
With its 3.7-liter fuel-efficient V6 engine and standard electronic stability program, the Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo delivers its best on-road performance ever. But underneath it all, it's still a Jeep 4x4. Get a 2005 Grand Cherokee V8 with $4,250 in total savings.
Number 1 at 11, the Channel 4 News.
It's a technological revolution from the leader in four-stroke technology. We increased horsepower without adding weight and added a unique dual exhaust system for perfect balance in the loops and in the turns. The new Honda CRF 250R. Victory is almost a mathematical certainty. Get a low 6.9% fixed APR with the Honda card. Hurry in. Offers end October 31st.
We ready for our main event, and so far, as is the case at every U.S. Open of Supercross, treated to some quality riding. Let's talk about what we've seen so far, however. Wyndham goes down, and then Byrne able to hold Carmichael off, but what is it going to take to beat Carmichael in this main event?
I think a great start, but I think you touched on it. Wyndham going down. If that's Carmichael and he has to work his way through the pack, not saying that he can't do it, but that is what it's going to take for somebody to beat Ricky Carmichael here tonight, or he will beat you into submission. We saw Michael Byrne hold him off a lot of that heat race. You saw a lot of wide lines by the Kawasaki, and you also saw difficulty of Ricky Carmichael in the whoops section. If Carmichael can't hold that straight line in the whoops, and that Cowie's dialing through straight, it's just going to be another advantage for Burner. So it's tight. A good start is what it's going to take by any of these guys. But hey, it's the U.S. Open. I'm telling you, weird stuff happens.
We will see if Ricky Carmichael can make it a three-time championship here in Vegas. And Robbie, you said it, a good start, and you see where Carmichael is sitting as we look at the Honda start list of the main event, 250s U.S. Open of Supercross.
He gets first gate pick because he had the fastest heat. He won that. He picks the third gate from the inside. That's the closest that first turn. He has the straight line.
Before we get underway, let's send it down to Ken Harkin.
All right, guys, this is it. I am standing right where the gate is about to drop on the 250 main. Everyone is still talking about that Heat 2 race between Byrne and Carmichael. I spoke with Byrne earlier in the pits. He was frustrated that he let Carmichael get past him. He said he made some mistakes out there, but there's no way if he gets out in front, he's going to make any mistakes and let anybody pass him. But I'll tell you guys, it is going to be a drag race once this gate drops. Whoever gets out in front, very important, obviously, it's Supercross, so you can bet Carmichael isn't going to let up on the gas. Neither are some of the heavy hitters behind me, so it's going to be an exciting race. Let's see what happens.
Well, Pat, I pointed out where they lined up. Burner's on the outside of Carmichael. Carmichael gets first pick. He picks third gate. That means he can push everybody wide, including Michael Byrne. But there's one factor. Ernesto Fonseca right there, he's inside of Carmichael. He has second pick. If he gets a good jump, what's he going to do? He's going to turn right. Yeah. He's going to shut him down, and he's going to try and win this thing. So Fonseca, even though, he finished third on night number 1, he still has a chance at this championship.
And Robbie, you talked about this guy, team leader for Amsoil Chaparral Honda, Mike LaRocco, not a great starter, but the winner back in 2002. And Kevin Wyndham has that hernia, is going to be going in for surgery following the U.S. Open.
Yeah, just another day away. He postponed it. He did the testing out at the Honda test track. He said, man, if they didn't get my bike back and prepped, I wouldn't be racing here this week. But he says, I can I've managed all year long. I can manage one more race, but it all comes down to the start.
25 laps, main event, 250 class here in Vegas. And there it is, jumping on board with Kevin Windham on board, but you can see right there Carmichael out front.
The one sight no one on the field wanted to see is Carmichael with a hole shot. Nasty.
The question is, can Kevin Windham stay up with Carmichael at this point? Carmichael, it is safe to say, has this course dialed at this point.
And also, I see Michael Berner back in 5. Carmichael might be dialed. He needs, well, a straight line right there, Pat. They worked on the bike between the heat races, or he said it. He said he backed it down a little bit. I think it was tracking straight. That's something Berner, Windham, Fonseca, they really don't want to see Ricky out in front with fresh track.
Fonseca holding on to the 3rd place position. Windham in 2nd. Michael Byrne in 4th place for the moment. LaRocco followed by Tate in 6th.
So Berner's gotten by LaRocco. Now he still has 3 more guys, but he's going to win this overall because you culminate the first night of competition and today, who has the most points will be our champion. Right now, Kevin Windham not too far behind Ricky Carmichael, but it was Carmichael with a hole shot. You see Windham going to the inside, but too far behind. That was the old Carmichael line we saw earlier.
24 laps to go. Something we usually don't think about, just the stamina. Your heart rate, it gets up to 200 beats per minute.
Not if you're Ricky Carmichael. No. Yeah, he has the trainer, Al Baker and Jeff Spencer, trainers of the stars. They work with these athletes. They're probably cruising around, 90, 100. I would be 250. That's what type of shape. They say it's the most physically active sport there is next to soccer, but I've never been injured and said, hey, take me out of the game, coach. If you're in motocross, you're racing the entire time. And right now we're seeing Michael Byrne closing in on the Costa Rican, Ernesto Fonseca.
Fonseca still in the top 3 right there. Hoffmaster way back in 8th. We saw earlier Hoffmaster just able to make up that ground, but with the leaders that we're talking about, the strength of this pack,
different crew of riders, Pat. Different crew of riders. And 26 really the key player right now. Michael Byrne just behind him, the number 5 of Michael LaRocco, and you see the 27 of Nick Way, the Unbound Energy Honda, closing in as well. Way finished 2nd here last year, but not doing as well this year. Berner going to the inside, and now he gets by Fonseca, already up into 3rd, Pat.
Michael Byrne moves into 3rd place, 22 laps to go. When we talk about riders willing to take chances, Carmichael's in that mental mindset. There's like nothing can stop him. And you've worked with David Bailey before. He goes on record talking about Carmichael. Yeah, he's the best. Who is willing to challenge him? He says maybe only Bubba Stewart.
Yeah. David said there were like 5 Carmichaels back when I was racing. I don't know if that was there might have been 3 or 4, but I don't know if anybody's quite like Ricky. But it seemed like there were more guys up in the front that were willing to take chances and commit physically and train like it. I think David's right in that sense, but I've seriously never seen anything like Ricky, though. But look at this race, even back in 5th and 6th, it looks like LaRocco got stuffed a moment ago, and now he does the stuffing, or does he?
Not able to get through that time, but just the sheer stamina of this course now on lap 21, 25 laps. They need to maintain about a 45-second lap on this course.
Going to the inside, he has LaRocco all into his back tire. I mean, they've been banging bars this entire lap. Now he sets up on the inside.
Look at that.
Takes it over, Pat.
Number 5 moving up. LaRocco just jamming through the whoops.
I got to call his last race victory, Indianapolis Supercross, 2 years ago, and he got a great start. He doesn't get it here, and there goes Wade. Now, remember the 125 highlights when we saw Laninovich stick a wheel in? He caught in the back tire. Wade was smarter, and also you saw he didn't lose much ground. He says, I will live to fight another day. Now getting by is still going to be another story, but you can see, not too far behind.
So LaRocco in front of Way as we get down to 20 laps. As they enter the dark side outside of the arena here at the MGM Grand.
Nick Way, I talked about it earlier, how he was a factory rider, lost that ride. You have to deal with the cards that you were dealt. Right now, Ricky Carmichael is dealing with a great start and is trying to check out from the rest of the field. Michael Byrne sits back in 3rd with Kevin Windham in between. And right now, it looks like it's all Ricky Carmichael, that Makita Suzuki.
The question remains, Carmichael en route to a Grand Slam title and a 3-time championship title here in Vegas. More from the main event when we return.
This fall, we're taking every deal to the red line during Honda's Full Throttle Clearance event. Get 6.9% financing on every new Honda motorcycle, ATV, and personal watercraft. even better, he'll find great factory-to-dealer incentives on select models. And get 24 months of Honda protection on all ATVs, a $300 value for only $69. It's the Honda Full Throttle Clearance Event. Get to your Honda dealer now, because it ends fast.
Of Supercross, and Ricky Carmichael attempting an unprecedented Grand Slam title. And you see right there, Nick Wey going down, getting caught up with the bars.
Ernesto Fonseca, Nick Wey both go down. Fonseca still had a good shot at a podium, and right now Nick Wey's bike is on top of it. He's saying, I just got to wait now.
And this is what we talk about when guys start to lap each other, which Carmichael is going to have to start dealing with here in a moment. As he starts to go around, you can see him going by the pile up there.
I said weird things happen. Yeah. I mean, Carmichael just missed a close call just a moment ago. A rider falling just in front of him. There you see two riders clash that are two of the top in the business. I mean, crazy stuff happens. Now you see Tommy Hoffmaster just in front, and Nick Wey, who's about to be a lap down. You know, they're blocking right now. This is a great opportunity for Kevin Windham to make up time, but look at Rick. He just picks him off.
Way too comfortable. And watch Carmichael. Look at the line he approaches here. And just the line that he takes over the set here. Sets up for that turn beautifully. Carmichael followed by Windham and Byrne in third still. The order of the top three has not changed.
Yeah, Ricky Carmichael, I mean, it's his race to win or lose, right? I guess it always is. I mean, but he seems like he wins about 90%, 95% of them. An amazing rider. We pose a question, what's it going to take for Ricky to slow down? I don't know. I mean, he's a married man now. Maybe he and Ursula have a child. Maybe that's what everyone's looking forward to. Ricky, taking that next step.
Well, I think, the jury is out on the fact, is the Suzuki bike working for him? Remember last year when he came out?
No question.
Yeah, came out, there was question, okay, is it going to work for him? But obviously worked out the kinks there.
But then some. He put that to rest, man. He didn't lose. He hasn't lost a championship since then. He rode the 250 Suzuki last year, two-stroke, had a clutch go out. Since then, no DNFs. I mean, he only has 2 moto losses in motocross. I mean, period. He almost had a perfect season again. Nobody thought that would ever be done.
Well, what's interesting, he's lost more at this race than he's won it. Interesting, I mean, if you're doing the hard numbers, but he'd love to put a third win in Vegas.
And be the only guy to ever do so.
Yeah.
And $100,000 on the line. Did we mention 100K? I mean, it's 100 large, Pat.
At this point, I mean, Carmichael looks unstoppable. It's going to be such a banner year for him. We were talking earlier about riders willing to take chances. You brought up Bubba Stewart's name. Talking about riders willing to go big back in Unadilla, a little incident between Bubba Stewart and Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, he was landed on. A lot of people saw it and said it was all Bubba's fault. Bubba just didn't think that Ricky would be that slow in that particular section, but it was an aggressive move. Ricky was upset with him, but it's kind of crazy. Ricky was that guy back then, when he started out, so you can't fault him too much, and he really had a great line. He was just actually faster than Carmichael in that one particular section, but it almost cost both of them, and it actually did cost Stewart. You're seeing the battle now for second and third as it looks like Berner is closing in a little bit, but he still has to get by Carmichael if he's going to win the championship. Berner in great position for second overall because second in day 1 and then a third in day 2. Looks like it's going to give him enough points for that, but he wants to win bad. You talk about Mike, the debut of the Cali four-stroke, looking pretty darn good in his debut.
Byrne looking very comfortable on the Kawasaki. You saw how he just powered through the whoop section.
Yeah, I mean, this is the much-anticipated debut. A lot of people are waiting for James Stewart, and we want to remind everybody, Stewart was ready to race the U.S. Open and signed up. We had him at the press conference. He actually rode at the press conference, but when he woke up yesterday, he was fine. And then all of a sudden, during the day, he started having this stomach ailment, vomiting, something you don't want to have happen while you're out there on the course. Went to the hospital. The doctors still don't know what it is. All they know is he's hurting and he's physically unable to perform. He tried racing today. He had the green light. He just could not do it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because we did want to see that matchup with Bubba and Ricky Carmichael. You see Carmichael out front followed by Windham and Byrne. And, Carmichael's been such a shot of adrenaline to Team Suzuki. You think back to the days of Mark Burnett, the bomber for Suzuki back in 1981, grabbed the AMA Supercross Championship. There's been comparisons made there. Carmichael's done a lot for Suzuki, for sure.
There's been several years in between that. I mean, when you think of, the fast Suzuki rider, Mark Barnett, I mean, that's 2 eras gone by. Sorry about that, Mark. But Ricky Carmichael, I mean, he is at the forefront now. I guarantee he sold a lot of yellow bikes this year. And just to think, he left Honda to go to Suzuki, something that just never happens. I said that that last year, I still stick by it. I can only think of Jeremy McGrath that has left Team Red to go to another team on his own terms. But man, he's talking about working for you.
The question is, are you seeing the pacing out of Wyndham right now to pose any challenge? I mean, Carmichael is so far out the front.
You want to see a guy ride smooth? I mean, you got the picture. Kevin can ride so smooth, and he'll collect a nice paycheck. But right now, he's settling for second. If Carmichael wants to crash or have a problem in front of him, then that's how the race is going to come to him. But right now, it looks like Wyndham is riding as fast as he can within reason. I mean, he's fast. I mean, he's still going fast out there, faster than everybody out there but Carmichael. But Ricky's just a whole other level right now.
Wyndham's been riding motocross since he was 4 years old. And grabbed a second place back in 2000 and a third place finish in the U.S. Open of Supercross in 2001. And there's Byrne.
Still looking for that, the victory. Yeah, and it's his first U.S. Open of Supercross. He'll finish in second place if he stays where he's at, putting a lap on Nick Way. You got to be happy for him. I mean, Australia came to America with a dream, and he's starting to realize that. Now he has the equipment too, and he's showing you that bike is fast. You got to like Berner's determination. He stuck with it in the heat races. I'm telling you, practicing with James Stewart, when James is out there on the West Coast, that has to help him.
Well, being around talent in any sport, it definitely has a...
Ivan Tedesco is going to be teammates with Ricky Carmichael. Ivan Tedesco is another guy that, even though he's the 125 West Coast champion, he's a dark horse for the 250, top three. The guy's fast indoors. He's not with us here today, but watch out for Tedesco because he's just making the bike switch from Kawasaki to Suzuki, and you got to give him a little time to work in the equipment.
So with 4 laps to go, it's all but secure for Carmichael. Gives us a chance to talk about his career, the most prolific rider in the sport. More than 120 total career victories, 2 perfect motocross seasons, 4 250 Supercross championship titles. Let me see, you got the 125 AMA Eastern Regional Supercross Championship.
Yeah, those are way back.
I mean, how far back do you want to...
He's never lost a championship in motocross. In case it's your first time to Supercross, Supercross is indoors, generally, even though it may be domes. Motocross is outdoors, faster tracks. He's never lost a championship in motocross.
And a favorite among peers, Loretta Lynn's championship. 9 of those go to Ricky Carmichael. That's the record.
When I was just a struggling amateur, I used to watch Ricky, and people used to steal the tires out of the trash can. His throw-offs, they'd be digging in the trash can for his 60 tires.
I'll tell you what, they're going to be worth something for sure. Because he's going down in the books. He already has.
Kevin's been fast his whole career, too. I believe he re-signed with Amsoil, Chaparral, and Napster. So look for him for the next couple of years, too. You can't give Kevin enough credit, but Ricky is definitely the cream of the crop. I mean, think about both of these guys. The season they've had, the 250s, the big bikes, even though they're on 450s, they race the full season. There is no East Coast, West Coast. They're out there 40 races at least this year for Kevin and all the 250 riders. That is amazing. Think about playing football, the NFL having a 40-week season. You think it would ever happen?
I highly doubt it.
They do it.
Yeah, the stamina, like we said, we pointed out. But do a quick breakdown, though. We're seeing a huge genesis or a shift to the 4-strokes. Those new to Supercross, breakdown from what the 2-strokes going to the 4-strokes.
Well, like Berner and Ricky, they're on 4-strokes. I mean, the front runners are on 4-strokes now, and that's where you're seeing the wave. We haven't had any commitment to what the guys will be racing for 06, but we are seeing that move to 4-strokes because the 4-strokes, real torquey, a ton of horsepower, very tractable, but they have a big drawback, and that is they weigh a little more. They don't move quite the same. The 250 strokes are a little more flickable.
So back to the race and 1 lap to go. Ricky Carmichael, the unprecedented Grand Slam title, and the arm is already in the air. It is all but a done deal for Ricky Carmichael.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
They're casing that jump, a lot of guys. He's pulling up one-handers, Oakley's hair off, doing something out there. Can you believe this guy? I mean, I guarantee you, he's smiling. I mean, Goose, his mechanic, Mike Gosler, I guarantee he's smiling. We'll see right here. See what his pit board says.
It is all but official.
No pit boards.
Yeah, through the whoops and over the jump. 3-time winner, Grand Slam title champion, Ricky Carmichael.
He has won every championship that he has entered this year. World Supercross GP, AMA Supercross Championship, 250 Motocross Championship, now the U.S. Open Championship, though in the Motocross to Nations with teammate Kevin Wyndham. This is his perfect season.
Whether you're a fan of arena cross, supercross, motocross, the fans here in Vegas have witnessed a piece of riding history. Ricky Carmichael.
There's a reason he was the odds-on favorite, and he'll gamble now after the race. I'll see him at the 21 table playing a little blackjack. Not much gambling out there on the course. They were all calculated risks, Pat.
As we look at the final standings on the Suzuki leaderboard, U.S. Open of Supercross 250 main event, Ricky Carmichael with the win. Kevin Windham in second and Michael Byrne in third. We'll be back to talk with our winner and wrap it up from Vegas.
Whoa, Chad Reed.
Here you go, kid.
Supercross champ. Yeah.
Can't lose theirs.
I don't know about all these other propositions, but if the legislators hate Prop 77, I'm for it.
Proposition 77 lets an independent panel draw the district lines, not the politicians. And you get to vote on the final plan.
Prop 77 is a bipartisan reform endorsed by Common Cause and every major newspaper in California. Don't let the politicians fool you. Yes on 77.
The public employee unions take our dues and spend it on politics
without our permission. It's wrong. We don't want our money used
for candidates and causes we don't believe in.
From 4 to 10, don't miss the exciting Moonlight specials in every department all over the store. And on Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to noon, get your pick of amazing early bird specials. Shop early. Shop late. Just don't miss it, or it might come back to haunt you. It's Mervyn's Moonlight Madness. Friday and Saturday only.
It's the Dodge Model Year-End Clearance. Your last chance to grab an 05 with the Dodge Advantage. We've still got a lot of 05s, but not for long. Save on the Hemi-powered Ram, the all-new Dakota with best-in-class interior room, and Durango with a 5-star frontal crash test rating. Now get the Dodge Advantage, including up to $5,500 combined cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months. See your Dodge dealer today or visit Dodge.com. Hurry, because once the Dodge you want is gone, it's gone.
Dad, I got an A in advanced physics.
This is very disappointing.
Dad.
You're burning through our wireless minutes again. We need to talk.
Dad, it's just...
This wireless bill is out of control.
Not enough minutes on your family's wireless plan?
10 calls in one day?
Come to T-Mobile, where families get more whenever minutes to share. Nice dress.
Families talk free and get the most whenever minutes.
T-Mobile, get more minutes.
Welcome to CBS Thursday. Tonight, Survivor Guatemala continues. Then catch CSI, followed by Without a Trace. It all starts right now.
Previously on Survivor, Margaret's negative.